Through the generous contribution of Dr. Lewis's family, we're very fortunate to be able to share with you these timeless recordings of Dr. M. W. Lewis, a self-realized American yogi. Dr. Lewis was Paramahansa Yogananda's first American disciple and dearest personal friend. The wisdom Dr. Lewis imparts through these teachings will give you a dynamic and practical insight into the ancient science of yoga as taught by Paramahansa Yogananda. This lecture's title is How to Be Able to Smile Always, and was delivered in San Diego, California on December 7th, 1958.
Be able to smile always. How to be able to smile always. Such a subject means that we must start this service with a smile. We must not be glum. The Master Guru used to say that religion is not a funeral procession. And so I always start this particular talk with a little story. In this world there seems to be two types of people, and sometimes a third, but especially the optimist and then the pessimist. The optimists, of course, are those who are always looking on the bright side of life and at least trying to make the best of it. And so this little story I tell is about the optimist who fell 10 stories and at each window bar shouted, "All right, so far." So that's the optimist. And he must have been optimistic. And on the other hand, we have the pessimists. You all know about them. And these pessimists, well, there used to be a little saying that the pessimists, we live in hope and die in despair. I used to say to Master, he used to say, "Hitch your chariot to a star." And I'd end it by saying, and he didn't like it, I'd say, "And then when you fall just so far." But he didn't like that very much. And he used to get quite hard. But there are other people in the world who are kind of in between. They're trying to beat the game, so to speak. And this little episode comes to my mind about a certain man, a very thrifty nature. Very thrifty nature. And he used to take great long steps as he walked, saving his shoes. But to his dismay he found, in so doing, taking the long step, he split his pants. So, economy is great stuff, but be sure when you practice economy, it isn't false economy. So, as you think of this little story from time to time, I would advise you to try it, because I doubt if it'll be economical, but it'll help you to smile when things are not going just as they should. And so, one can smile under all conditions. This is the thing we have to learn. One can smile under all conditions like the optimist, but that is done by will and determination. You can do that by will and determination. But sometimes, I think we feel ourselves hypocrites if we do it that way. I was just thinking, if you look about you in this material creation and this material world and see what's going on, that sometimes it's very difficult to smile. And yet you can do it. You can do it if you have the smile of the wisdom of the soul. Smile of the soul through wisdom, you can do it. But in other times, as we look around and we see the paradoxes and injustices of this material creation, and this world in which we find ourselves, that it is difficult, even by will and determination, to smile. Two things that come to my mind about what has just happened in Chicago, where those little children were destroyed in that horrific fire, though it seems no fault of their own. Unless we have soul knowledge, we cannot understand those things. And then again, we see children, some born healthy, some with weak and broken bodies, go through life that way. It's very difficult. Smile. But there is a way to smile. And as we look about us, I understand in China and in India, there's so much want there that the little children are crawling up eating out of the garbage pail. It's difficult to smile. But when you know the soul, and then by knowing the soul, which is a ray of God, know the presence of God within and understand just what the superior creation is, then you can smile. Because you know, in the ultimate, this creation is simply a dream of God. And when you break the dream, there is no suffering. Only then can we smile. The smile of the soul, which comes through wisdom. Also, the uncertainties of life bother us. We realize these things, these accidents that happen. All the time we read about terrific accidents, and there seems to be no justice in these things. And then the loss of fortune. And then world conditions. World conditions are so hard to justify. Where we read about the massacres in the different countries of innocent people. And of the prison camps. And also after the last war, bands of little children roaming around without parents.